So hi, good morning guys and welcome to the live. We have
Good
Adrija and
morning.
Shrayan with us.
Good
Yeah, hi
morning.
guys, hi. Yeah. So they're well prepared it seems for the interview. Not the interview but the discussion, live discussion. And so one of the most fascinating thing that really I liked that's why they called them for discussing about their preparation is that they are friends from a really long time and they have prepared together so this whole um, life today is dedicated towards the group studying, okay, which I think is very important for the students out there. Group studying is very fundamental to you know one whatever domain you're working on studying, etc. So I will focus more on that and how this. So they have the usual same answer as them. So all the preparation they have the same answer because they have group studied. So it will be alternately asking questions to them. So yeah, so let's start. So I will start in alphabetical order. So Adrija, can you just tell about a bit about yourself and yeah. So then I will want to track.
Before saying anything, I would like to thank all my well-wishers, my parents, my friends, and my all the professors, teachers, whoever have taught me. Because without their support, it would not be possible. And especially, I want to dedicate my success to my parents. So, hi, I am Adrija Saha. I live at New Barakpur, a small town near Kolkata. I have done my secondary and higher secondary from New Barakpur Girls High School. Then I have been admitted to St. Xavier's College, Autonomous Kolkata, to pursue honors in basic statistics. And this year I have given JAM, and by God's grace, I have secured All India Rank 1.
Great, that's superb. That's superb. I really like the fact that I mean you guys are very humble and that's really very. I feel it's very special from my end like to get in touch with you. So Shran, can you tell a bit about yourself too?
Yes. And like Adrija, I also would like to thank my parents, my teachers, my professors, my friends, my family members, because they have supported me a lot. And without their support, it was not possible for me to achieve this thing. And also, I would like to thank Adrija also individually because together we did group study and we have enriched our knowledge by this. So I am Sohan Roy. I am from New Barakpur. We live in the same town actually. And I did my secondary and higher secondary education from Bharat Mahatma Gandhi Memorial High School. Then I admitted to St. Xavier's College, Autonomous Kolkata, same college, and then that's how all it.
Great, super. So you are I was talking to like you are in the future you're interested in pursuing job, right? Like applying your knowledge in the
Yes, yes.
industry.
Just
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
just want to gain some industry experience, then maybe go for PhD.
Yeah, so I mean, why I ask this question is that people have a goal in their mind, so it's good to have a very good focus. So that's what I want to convey to the participants and the viewers out there. So, like, tell me, like, why do you love statistics, and whether it was statistics. For example, I loved mathematics. Okay, from there I moved into statistics because I want to have an applied feel of that. So, what's your journey for falling in love with mathematics or statistics, Audrey and then Shran?
Actually, to be very frank, I had no plan to pursue statistics. But I have never thought. I was a physics, chemistry, math, biology PCMB student, and my wish was to crack NEET, but I could not crack NEET at that time. But from my childhood, I loved mathematics than any other subject. Even more than biology, I loved mathematics. So I had a plan. If I could not be able to crack NEET, then I would pursue mathematics. But then many of my well wishers, including Soyon and many teachers and many relatives, they told me like you can pursue statistics because it has greater demand in job market or in anything in today's world. So that's how I came to statistics, and in these 3 years of studying statistics, I fall in love with the subject, I think.
Great, super. So since you mentioned about biology, like you like biology, right, Adrija?
Yes, yes,
So and you're learning statistics. There's a beautiful field called biostatistics, okay, which you
yes,
can
yes.
explore on your own time, and maybe you want to contribute in that field, in terms of industry or That's a suggestion to you, okay? Because statistics is applicable to all the subjects. So people are there in
Exactly.
languages. So yeah, that's why
It's
it
very
Uh,
is vast and
beautiful.
beautiful.
every
That was the
subject
aim
has
of
some sort
PC
of
model
link with
actually.
statistics.
Yeah, in ISI there is in linguistic department actually. So,
Hmm.
so for example, they create new stories out of looking into the stories of Shakespeare, let's say, or Rabindranath Tagore. So, it's an example. So, new story. Anyway, so coming back to Shan, what was your call like? How did you? Is it the same journey as Adrija or something different?
No, no, no. I have different story. Actually, my teachers told me that you can go for statistics because it is very applied thing of mathematics. Actually, like applied stuff of mathematics. So that's why I go for statistics. But I have statistics in my 11 12 course. Actually, first I have taken computer science. Then Abhijit told me you can go for statistics because it will help you in future. So I go for statistics, and I have somehow developed a feeling for the subject and learned a lot from my teachers in 11 12. And I want to crack actually ISI examination because I want to study at ISI, but unfortunately I could not crack at that time. But then I study at St. Xavier's College, met with great professors and awesome friends, and that's how.
Great, great, super. So, great. So, like, do you have any like, do you want to apply statistics in any particular domain, like any what's your
No, actually I have not thought about it, but I think if I get ISI, then there will be
you?
there then I can there get some sort of idea or guidance also from professors.
Of course, we will get. Of course, we will get. So,
Hmm.
all the best to you for your ISI. ISI results have not come out, but hopefully they will come out soon. Let's see. So okay, so a nice motivation for learning and falling in love with statistics. You will surely fall in love more with it as you learn more in the future. So coming back to the preparation point of view for which the audience out here are waiting from you guys is like let's start one by one. First of all, tell me about this group study. Like how did you start doing and just a, it's the main focus of this. So how did you start group studying and what's your from when like is it from 11th 12th or after college? So when did you group study? So can you just tell me a bit or what was your plan of group study? Adrijan, anyone you can choose to say.
Actually,
Aditya first.
we shared our tuition from class 9. Then we only know each other. But after our 10th board exam, we became friends. And then gradually we became very good friends, even best friends. And in 11, 12 also, we did group studies. For our higher secondary examination, we did group study. And
Great.
then after in graduation also, we did so. And that's how it started.
Super, super. So okay, so like, can you tell me like, how did you start preparing for IIT Jam? Like, what was your step? Like, what did you discuss with Stran and other friends like while studying the group discussion? Stran, how did you start the whole
Yes,
preparation, or it is just naturally with the BSc course?
it's actually naturally with the basic. Basically, actually the preparation started during the lockdown phase. Many of our college friends started solving JAM previous year question papers, and they also sent us, and we used to solve them, and we felt interest with them. Actually, my motive was to crack ISI first of all because I could not crack at that time. But when I started solving JAM question papers, that's a really interesting and kind of so. After that, we just solve questions, we see the syllabus, and that's how the preparation started. And the most rigorous preparation started mainly during the fourth semester of our BSc course, fourth semester, because most of
Okay.
the 60% syllabus is covered during fourth semester.
Yes, yes, you're right. So yeah, yeah. That is very important. Like to
Hmm.
like yeah, that is very important because you get without that knowledge you cannot actually do the problems out
Yes,
there.
yes.
Okay. So that's when you started. So around fourth semester, but you were solving problems during the lockdown. Okay. So like um just like how did you prepare? Like what books did you follow and um yeah. So any books you want to share you followed or any resources you want to share? Adrija.
I can't hear the question. Can you please repeat once?
Yeah, so I asked you the question that what books did you follow, what resources do you follow, and yeah, so how did you start preparing, like apart from the problem solving, learning part, is it from the college or yeah,
Actually, when we first see the syllabus, the first thing that stuck into our mind that we have to know the theory first. This is really important because without knowing the proper theory, if you jump into problem solving, then you will be stuck at some point or some other. So we decided just we have to know the basic theories first, and for that we take help from our college notes, then our tuitions notes, and then for some part we referred some book also. Then after that, uh, after after revising the theory at least 5 or 6 times, when we feel that we are okay with the theory, then we jump into problem solving. First, our motive was to clear our basics.
so for problem solving books, like you told, your theory have been covered by your tuition teachers. So problem solving part, like what books did you follow, like just past years, or what will you suggest your
At that part, Sharon helped me a lot. He used to find the problems. So I think he would be better to answer this question.
yeah, Shine, please go ahead. Yeah,
Yes, actually, um, for questions, actually you need to find good questions. Not don't need to solve more questions. No, no, more questions you don't need to solve, like too much questions. But you need to solve only good questions because solving more and more questions may lose your interest. So it is better to solve good questions only. That like you can gain some interest about the topic. And for good question, I can refer some books. Right, we have followed 5 books mainly for
sure.
statistics and probability. Sheldon Rose, Joe Billusin is a good book. It is a very intuitive understanding of the topic when you get an intuitive
Yes.
understanding. It is a really good book. I have
So
really loved it.
Shine is telling
Uh,
Introduction to Probability first course, I guess, by Sheldon Ross.
yes, yes, yes,
Introduction to
Sheldon.
Probability and Statistics by Joe Blitzstein, the red book.
Yes, yes,
Yeah. What
yes.
else?
And then Rohadgi Saleh is a good book also. And
Yeah, it's a very
Castle
interesting
Barger,
book.
yes, Castle Barger. It is made. It is useful for probability and inference both things. It is useful.
Yes.
And that's for probability and statistics. And on the other hand, for mathematics, we have followed Malik Aurora and SK Mappa, linear algebra, and real analysis. But sometimes we have followed some online resources also. Like there are some videos of Ornov Chakraborty sir,
They are beautiful. They are
of
absolutely
IFS.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yes, yes, linear algebra videos, and they
His
are
books are
really
also really
helpful.
great
And
for who can learn who
actually,
can.
yes, sir. I have not read the book, but the videos are really good. And for more questions, you can refer to JAM previous years mathematics previous year ISI statistics questions. They are really interesting ISI statistics questions. And then you can go for Hyderabad University, Delhi University, Pune University questions, and sometimes ISS paper 1, paper 2, and also uh, actually, I cannot remember more. Yes, NET examination questions.
These
NET
and net
examination
Okay.
questions.
examination are also helpful.
Yes,
Yeah. So let me
get.
revise. Let me revise for the students. So
Yes, yes,
Sheldon Ross also is in core probability, then Introduction to Probability and Statistics by Blitzstein, then um, that book you told Rohit Salehi,
Rohadgi Sala.
Rohit Gisala, I'm so sorry. So yes, so Devorshida is in life. So he told that nice to hear from my juniors reading my favorite resources. So yeah,
Yes.
say hi to Devorshida. So
Hello,
um,
Devasida.
yeah, so
Hello.
then Rodgers-Sale, and then you told Kessler Burger, and for the statistics part. So I think I personally felt Rodgers-Sale is a very hard book, but if one can do the entire book, I think the entire probability and
Yes.
statistics will be done. Yeah, I mean that's what I
Hmm.
observe. But it's a pretty hard book because it includes a bit of major theory and stuff, major that probabilistic.
Hmm.
But it's really
Yes, yes.
beautiful book. So very fundamental. And the for mathematics, you told SK Mappa and Malik
Hmm.
Arora, I guess, right? So those are
Malik
the
Arora.
books.
Linear.
Uh,
Hmm. Actually, my suggestion is, whenever you read some topic, you should visually understand it. Like the sequence, the real sequence series, they are really interesting if you visually understand them. They're really
Yes,
interesting, and also set some statistics topics also. You can do some sort of simulations also,
exactly,
like to understand.
exactly. So you can exactly. So in your projects, I think you can do like this kind of things. If you
Yes.
learn R, maybe you can
Hmm.
find the let's say that you can also use some GeoGebra. Okay, GeoGebra is something that is already
Yes,
there,
yes.
like sequence and stuff, which can tell you like
Definitely.
Hmm.
simulations. You're right. Okay, so this can. Yeah, so I really like this point of Shrayan that it's good to visualize stuff. It stays in your mind
Hmm.
forever. So that's really I really follow that as as a student and teacher also both. Okay, so and for online resources, you told Anup Chakravarti's resources, which are absolutely
Yes. Yes.
beautiful, and I'm so
Also, Jihad list in linear algebra videos. Jihad list.
okay.
Sorry, Jihad Lena. I think
Gilbert's friend,
Gilbert Stan.
yeah,
Sorry, sorry.
Gilbert's friend, yeah,
My
yeah,
mistake.
Gilbert's friend. It's okay, no worries. So Gilbert Strang's videos and yeah, so for question solving, he told like past year ISS, Pune
Hmm. Paper
University,
one,
Hyderabad
paper two.
University, yeah, paper one, paper
Hmm.
two, Pune University, Hyderabad University. You can also try presidency's question or CU's question.
Yes, Presidency
Uh,
University is good.
yeah,
Questions are good. Yes.
and then what else? What else? You told also that GATE and
Jam
NET also.
mathematics.
Jam mathematics and
Jam
yeah,
mathematics.
jam mathematics. Yes, jam mathematics and you can do the mathematics part from all the mathematics examinations. Okay,
Yes, yes.
JSTI, whether
ISI
it's
mathematics.
ISI.
ISI mathematics exams are also useful.
So that's a
MF
lot of
questions.
resources for the students
Yes, lots
for
of
you to do self
resources.
preparation
Hmm.
and we have our groups and where you can discuss always. So I believe if you have good resources and good people to discuss, I think that's a perfect strategy one student can have to self prepare. Okay,
Hmm.
because we need friends and we need intellect. So that's come together. Okay, great. So this is for the resources part. Thank you so much, Adrija and Sharon, for sharing this. And Devargo also told us some kind of intersection part of the of the problem solving aspect. So that's really
Hmm.
great.
The
So
actually some problems of children those are also useful. Like examples of children those are really useful. And many questions have come from 2022 from children laws. Actually, if you see the examples very carefully, then there are some patterns, some questions that have come in JAM 2022.
oh, that's great. Oh, yes, yes, yes. So I didn't know that actually. Thank you for that. So yeah, I mean, people. So I will tell you something. Okay, so this is like I felt like being a teacher. People make questions, like they cannot make questions. It's not 60 questions or 1,000 questions like exactly new, right? So they can take ideas from books, and that's very natural. Okay,
Hmm.
and that's
Yes.
how in colleges questions are prepared. That's how in examinations questions are prepared. In big examinations also, they take examples. So that's totally natural. So also like not
Hmm.
just doing the Sharon about the exam perspective. It's good to they have beautiful problems actually. Okay,
Yes. Yes.
like yeah, for example, biostatistics problems are there. There is something called that. Um, Hardy, there is a Hardy equation stuff, okay, which is related to that
Hmm.
T1 minus this multinomial distribution stuff. So there's a really Hardy word, some equation like that. And there's also finance related stuff, questions like
Hmm.
stock
Finance
market
related
and
stuff.
stuff. This is also in
Hmm. Hmm.
Blitzstein. So these two books are really, can enhance your perspective about probability, which is very fundamental for your future. If
Hmm.
you get into
Different
IIT,
applications
ISI,
of probability also you can get.
yes. So also one of my preaching is I mean also many teachers out there their preaching should be like also learning focused understanding and for the future because few people will get into IIT and ISI, okay, that does not must not detour them from their learning perspective. So good books are really helpful and they are really good friends in
Hmm.
learning and good friends too. So that's the goal like I want to share in this life. Okay, so the next I want to share something that we have made from Chinta for the students helping. This is for I mean Deborshi actually asked me to do this, so I did this both for ISI and IIT. Is that so actually I have we are solving the past papers of ISI and IIT. So One thing I have done is that we have segregated the questions based on the topics. Okay, all the past years. Uh, so it can help the student. Let's say you're doing probability questions. Probability, you can see the syllabus. You just do Control F.
Hmm.
Okay, you can just do Control F and just search probability. So, and you can go to all the probability problems out there. So this is something we have done both in ISI ka past year test and IIT ka. So I hope it helps our students out there who are preparing. So we plan to do in the further, other exams also. But this is something I think can help our students. So we did it, when we had some time,
We have
because it
used this
helped.
for ISI.
Oh, okay,
We have used
okay.
this
Thank
thing
you.
for ISI.
I think
Great.
the
It's good to
website
hear.
is very useful for us
Thank you so
because
much.
Yes.
whenever we are stuck with a problem, we can find the solutions and all from it.
The
So yeah,
food,
it
food
was
of
built
thought
for the
question,
students.
food for thought questions are really interesting.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, I think our motive is like just not to stick to some exam, but
Yes,
some
yes.
holistic knowledge idea, which is
How can we go
essentially.
from one problem to another in a different way?
Yes, yes, yes. That actually helps in research and thinking, problem
Hmm.
solving, creativity. So
Thinking
that's
capability.
like in one of the previous lives with I think I forgot his name. So he told like he used to create new problems and solve them. Okay.
Yes, yes. We also used to
So
create new problems.
So that is very interesting. You're creating your own problems and solving them. That's like,
Hmm.
yep. So like, so it's really exciting. Okay, so coming back to the next questions. Um, so one another important question students will ask me and others, and of course, will ask you personally someday. So, how did you attempt the question paper? I think both of you attempted differently, as you have told. So Shivanjan, they are from
No, we have
secondary
attempted in the
aspirants,
same way. We have attempted in the
and
same way. Just time
okay.
allotment was different for us.
Okay, okay.
Management
So
question.
you decide who will tell me, like, how did you attempt the question paper?
Adrija.
Okay.
Okay.
Shine is always
First,
pushing the ball to Adrija's court now. Let her face all the problems. I will just
I am
let it.
a kind of introvert person actually.
Okay, okay. No worries. Adrija, please continue.
first, we had attempted the marks 1 MCQ. That is the first 10 questions. They will fetch you 1 marks, and if you did it incorrectly, then you will have negative marking. I think 1 by 3 is the negative marking. So they are not very difficult ones. So you can start with them to boost up your confidence. Then the most important part is to do the marks to MCQs correctly. So we have jumped into that part. There will be 20 questions, and if you can do them correctly with patience, then they will fetch you a lot of marks. And you have to do them very carefully because they have negative markings, I think 2 by 3, and this will matter actually. And then after completing the MCQ, we had gone to nat 2 marks question, because nat 1 marks question and nat 2 marks question you have to do them very carefully, because they will have no uh, options, and you have to just write the numerical answers, and you have to use the calculator very carefully. So, and as the nat 2 marks question are of higher weightage, so we have solved the net 2 marks question first, and then we come to net 1 marks question. There will be 10 2 marks question, 10 1 marks question. So clearly we should put more effort to net 2 marks questions. And then after doing all these things, MSQ is I think most of people's weak part. So after doing all this stuff, it is better to come to MSQ. But this is our strategy. Everyone can have their different strategy. Actually, what was different for us was time management. We have thought that we will allot this time to MCQ 1 marks question, this time to MCQ 2 marks question, this time to nat 2 marks question. We had a complete framework in time framework in our mind, and I tried to follow that. Like when I was doing MCQ 2 marks question, I was not been able to complete MCQ 2 marks question in the time that I had thought. But I thought that if I now try to recalculate the times in my mind, I may do some mistakes, and this will be harmful. So I left that 1 marks, I think 7 or 8 questions of MCQ 2 marks I left at that time. And I proceed as I thought before the examinations. The time framework that was in my mind, I implemented it correctly. And after doing all the steps, I had, I think, 40 to 45 minutes in my hand, and then I again go back to the questions I have left, and then I solve them. That's how I proceeded.
Okay, so let me revise. Okay, I'm a very forgetful person. So you did first MCQ, right? One mark.
Yes, yes.
Okay, then
Hmm.
you moved ahead to Nat
MCQ
one.
2 marks.
MCQ two.
Okay, MCQ one,
MCQ.
MCQ two, then Nat two,
Hmm.
Nat 2,
Yes.
then Nat 1.
then Nat one, then MSQ.
And
Okay,
MSQ.
after
great.
doing all these things, I just come to the question I left.
So did you plan to do all the questions? Like, how did you plan to do solve like do all the questions? Like, yeah.
It is important to do first easier ones, because just doing 2 or 3 difficult sums will fetch you very less marks. But if you, in that time, if you can do at least 10 or 12 easy question, then it will be helpful for you. So basically try to extract everything that you know from the question paper first,
Hmm.
and try to do the easier sums. If you stuck at a sum, just leave it at that time. If you have time
It
at
was
the
my
end of
mistake.
easier questions, then
It was
you
Shan's
can.
mistake. That's why he slipped by one
Yes.
rank.
Hmm. No, no. Actually, I have started a biphasic normal problem. I have wasted my 10 minutes of time, I think, at that problem, and that I regret actually. I
It's
regret
okay.
about
It's
that.
okay.
That I have.
Don't regret being ranked two. Okay, Shan. It's okay.
No, 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 no.
It's
Actually,
okay.
during the exam, I thought I am giving really bad exam.
Yeah, you did really bad in your exam. I can totally see that.
Yes.
Okay. Anyways, just
He
jokes
said
apart.
Paul was like he would not be able to crack jam this was. He was completely upset, and I was like, like what happened to him? Like
Actually, I thought of something, but what I face in examination is a completely different situation. That's the main problem. Like, don't put any expectation on your head. Just
but
whatever comes in your life, just face it. That's my
okay. But
that's my advice.
your all knowledge is about expectation and variance, right? Anyways, so yeah, I faced this small question from all the students out there that what is this like how do you know whether a question is easy or not easy, and how do you like totally understand like when you attempt the question. So one thing I really got from Adrija is that when you're stuck at a problem, leave it at that point, right?
Hmm.
Leave it at that point. Okay.
Don't
So that's
waste
how you
more
maybe
than
whether
5
it's
minutes
easy
for
or
a
not.
problem.
Okay. Okay. So
if
what's your other?
you can try a question 2 or 3 times. It is better than trying a question for 5 or 10 long minutes. I think it is better for me. Actually, it is better if I can manage time at at last, and I can revisit the problems. Then it is easier for me to do that sum.
Okay. So
So
it's like you did
I,
all the questions in a sequential order, or you did like, uh, yeah. So why I'm asking this question is for myself. I've never in first or second in any
Hmm.
examination. So I'm just trying to think how the first and second people think and attempt the question paper. Like, did you attempt it like in a alphabetical, in a sequential order, or you have just like topics in your mind which you, like, which you like did it like these are the topics I will focus on. I will do problems from this only. What did you follow? Audrey and Shan. Let Shan speak now. Shan, please.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, your thought.
Actually, yes. Actually, at first, what I did, I just tried to attempt the question sequentially, and I have a thing in mind that the math I have a problem with the or the two variate mathematics part. So whenever I see this type of question or area type of question, I just keep it, and later I do it, do this problem. But actually, I have made I have solved them in a sequential order.
Okay, okay, okay. So Adrija also solves in a sequential order.
Yes,
Hmm.
I have also done.
Okay. Okay. So what will you suggest? Like, let's say I have been with students, like, so this is like you are well prepared. That's so good. But there are students like who are a bit, confused in, let's say they are a bit weak in integral, multivariate integral calculus. So what will you suggest to them how to attempt the question paper? Like, who has some weak points and some strong points. Like, let's say 80% strong areas and 20% weak areas. So what will you suggest them? I'm having my breakfast. I hope it's okay with you and the
No,
like.
no, completely okay.
Please
Swayan,
go ahead.
Hmm. Actually, you should always work on your weaker points because basically weak parts actually. So because so that you can get some marks out of them, because sometimes from weaker parts easier question comes, so you cannot leave them actually. Like I will not solve any problem from that. But if you are like if you have some nervousness about solving a problem, you can leave it, but you can later attempt it, because sometimes some questions are easy from weaker parts.
Okay,
And for
this
stronger
makes
parts,
sense.
you just read more books, solve more problems, so that whatever question comes, you can just crack it.
I think in this year only there was a problem. There was
Hmm.
a MSQ about multivariate maxima, minima, saddle point,
Hmm.
about all this stuff. So many people thought that this problem would not be encountered easily, so they leave it. I think Sharon is also one of them. But the
Yeah.
question
Yes.
was
Yes.
really uh, just deriving the partial deriving the thing you can get the answer
The
easily.
function. Hmm.
Yes, function you can get the answer easily.
Great. So let me just revise it. So you told like we attempted the question paper MSQ one, MCQ one, MCQ two, Nat one, Nat two, Nat one, and
Next
MSQ,
one.
right?
Yes.
This is the order you did, and in the perspective of attempting the question paper, you did it sequentially. So wherever you got stuck, you left that question at that point and did it at the end. Okay. And if you have some weaker points, it's suggested that you try with the question at the end, but do your strong point first. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. So
Yes.
another question I get from the students, guys, is like, how did you manage your time with the college part? And mm, so Shivan and I, they have already told this in the beginning of the live, so I think you can refer to that part of the video. So how did you like manage your time with the college studies and then because there are many BTech people and other people from other backgrounds. Okay, so did your like
Hmm.
BSc in statistics, this college coursework helped, or like how did you manage your time with the college examination? Because in last two semesters, fifth and sixth semester, there are syllabus, there are things that are not intersection mostly like with the IIT JAM syllabus, right? So how did you manage your time in the last 1 year? Or just try and please any or the job is not good.
Actually, we used to study for JAM regularly except the exam days. Except our college exam days, we used to study for JAM regularly for at least 1 hour or 2 hour. But
So how did you
whatever
study on WhatsApp, on Google Meet, or getting together in a room and studying together or college?
in college,
No, I mean, how did you study? Like, what did you study in there? Like, did you solve problems or like, did you send questions on WhatsApp? How did you study?
all things we did, all things we did. Like at some week we prepared, we thought that we should revise the theory, and in some other week we thought that we should do some miscellaneous problems, and at some point we thought that we should do some previous year question paper. So in that way,
Okay, okay, I understood. Okay. So always, so it's like a habit being making a habit of preparing for
Hmm.
IIT Jam, whatever the whole thing is. Yeah, I think this is very important for the students. Having a habit of regularly solving problems or preparing for IIT Jam or whatever the exam is, even one or two problems, the habit is important, right? So that's what I
Hmm.
also like.
You should
We
solve.
also
You
share.
should solve problems on a regular basis. The consistency is important.
Yes, the habit is important. Good. Okay.
Hmm.
And what question did else I have?
I just want to tell something
Sure,
to
please do,
everyone.
please.
Actually, we have faced this phases a lot of time. Sometimes there will be days in a row when um, you will make mistakes very often. We both have did some mistakes, right? We are solving problems, but we are making mistakes again and again. So these are very difficult times and for a aspirant. But believe me, if you can just you can just get out of that period, then everything will be okay. You just think in a positive way, like you are seeing what mistakes you are doing before exam, so that you will not do this mistake in the exam. So that's a very useful. You can get rid of them, and we used to note the mistakes also, like error analysis.
This analysis is something new, like not new, but yeah, I mean something this Debargo and Shantanu and you guys also telling that. I think it's very
Yes.
important to keep a check on your errors.
Hmm.
Also, another thing I want to, I want to why I focus on group studying much because when you group study, let's say Adrija and Shana group studying. So you know, at the back of the mind, Adrija is thinking that Shran is um, there is someone who is looking into my work. Okay, if I do mistakes, like I'm accountable to someone. Similarly, Shan is thinking that I'm accountable to Adrija. Okay,
Hmm.
so when they're
Exactly.
group study, it happens. Like if you have more than two, three friends, whatever, you're accountable to the whole other group, right? You're solving a problem. You think it's my duty to solve it well. Give my best so that the others get help, right? Because we all want to help. So that's why group studying
Hmm.
really makes you accountable for the whole. Is that the thought process, like Adrija and Shan?
Yes,
What do you
yes.
think? Okay.
That's the thought process. Actually, group study really helps. There are many advantages of group study. Like uh, you can get enrich your knowledge. Like I know something about the topic. She knows something about the topic. When we discuss among ourselves, we get to know more things. And also sometimes we can get different solution to the same problem, different ways of encountering the same problem. And also you can get, if your group member is good, then you can get motivation also from them. And
That's what
also,
friends are for.
yes.
Great. So
And you can learn from others mistakes also, right? Like she is
yeah,
making
of
the
course,
mistake,
of
I
course.
can make this mistake also.
He
Yeah. So
used to
being
not
conscious.
also like
Yeah,
what
yeah.
mistake he,
Oh,
I should not repeat that mistake.
great.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's the error analysis you did. Okay. So it's a group error analysis.
Yes.
So that's so good. So I really like this. This group studying really motivates me as a person, as a student also. So okay. So I think the last one or two questions I should ask you before I open the comment section to the students out there. That how did you like any suggestion you want to give your juniors who are giving this next year, and what do you want to like say like in a parting statement, like what do you want to tell your juniors out there? Any mistakes you did in the exam hall, any mistake you did it, you could have done better. Like Shran could have been rank -1. I mean, if you could have done better.
No,
So,
no, that's
so
not the
yeah.
thing actually.
Okay, yeah. Please tell me. Please tell me. I was just joking.
One thing you have to accept that it is not possible that you will not be land up with at least money. You will not be able to do all the sums correctly in the examination hall. The
Hmm.
atmosphere is completely different, and you will end up
Different.
doing at least one mistake, silly mistake. You have to accept that. But what should be your So, what should be your motive is to minimize the silly mistakes so that in long run that does not affect your rank or your performance. So, from the first day, you should be prepared that yes, I should minimize the number of silly mistakes that I will be doing in the examination hall. And also, one thing, you should accept that you will not be able to solve all the problems, all the 60 problems. It is also true, na? You cannot solve all the
Hmm.
60 problems, but you have to maximize your marks. So whenever you are giving mock test, I think the mock tests are really important, and your mock test helps us a lot for time management, for facing an exam like atmosphere. For this matters, mock tests helps us a lot. We were enrolled
Thank you
to
so much.
change.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Hmm.
So after giving mock test,
Difficulty
you
level
will.
was very similar to
Yes,
jam.
yes, yes. Exactly.
Thank you guys, and yeah. So what others like? What do you like? What are the mistakes you think mm, you did, but it could have been done better?
One mistake that is unavoidable for me, I used to, I don't know why, but I used to read 2 as 3. I used to read, like, I mistakes are very common for me. I don't know. In ISI also I have done like that. I don't know what penalty I had to give for that. But I think it's better to read the question very, very clearly. So these mistakes have no mercy, I think. You have to read
No,
the question very, very clearly.
you
Very,
are not
very.
excused. Yes, this has no mercy.
Hmm.
Okay, Shran, what's your point of view?
Yes. My point of view basically try to simulate the exam situation basically. Like whatever you will do in the exam, just try to do at home. Like we used to solve whenever we give mock test, we used to do questions in a rough in a small pages. Like you will do in jam examinations also in small pages. We used to do this, and we used to do give mock test in a exam time period, like around 8 p.m. 8 a.m. in the morning. So that kind of like exam kind of simulation gives.
So I really like this point. Like, I want to tell three things I got from this life. Number one, also from the previous life, intersection of this. The number one is that, um, you know, to give an exam good in a good way, you need to simulate the exam situation, the mental preparation,
Yes.
because it's more about the mind and the environment, right? I will tell one small story. Like, I gave TOEFL, previous year. So in TOEFL, there is a section for speaking and listening. So when I prepared here, like in my home, it's fine. But when I went there, what happened in exam hall? All the students are speaking together, and I can hear it. And within that, with that environment, I have to give that. So that was I could have simulated better. That was important. Like that is very important that you simulate the exam pretty well because you don't know what can happen. So try and so I think calculator comes in there, using the calculator and
Yes. Yes.
taking rough sheets and stuff. And this has been told over and over again.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Calculator from the very beginning.
okay,
Yes,
okay.
from the very
So
beginning of preparation, we have used scientific calculator.
The calculators.
great. So simulating the exam, you know, mahal, like the
Hmm.
environment. And the second thing, I guess, which I really liked is that the error analysis you did. That understanding that the errors that you can do, the general errors.
Hmm.
Because I will tell you one incident. Like I used to play table tennis in my college days. That so one it's a game from a game perspective. So I used to get points not by playing well, but they used to make bad shots. Okay, so we win by brooding over the other people's mistakes and errors. So I think that's the. I mean, imagine like you, Shran, and other people all are prepared. Let's say same, but why is the rank difference coming? It's because people are making different errors. Okay,
Hmm.
all of you know the same. The knowledge is compact. Okay,
Knowledge
all
is
of them
same.
are the same, but problem solving they have read in some same teacher, and but the rank difference comes from errors because people make different errors. So I think this is a very important
Yes.
point. Okay, with Adrija and Shran told that error analysis because
Hmm.
that's when you make an error, you give points to the other person. Okay, so
Hmm. In our
that's
year,
the
there are very calculation based questions, so people make more errors in that
yes,
part. For
yes.
that, rank was
Okay, and I think the final point is that group studying is very important. I think that these are the
really.
3 points. Error, simulating the whole thing, the analysis and time management. All these things are and a habit. I really like this habit you built upon, like consistency. That is very important. So and simulating the experience, the awareness, and the habit. These 3 points I think I should tell the students to focus on, because other things will come naturally to you. Okay, but these 3 things are, in mental habits and mental models you need to develop. Yeah, no, scientific calculator is not allowed, right, guys? I've never given IIT JAM MS exams. I don't know, right?
You can download Get Calculator from Play Store, Google Play Store.
Okay, I see. Okay. Okay, so any other questions you have, the audience have, and any parting statement you want to say, Adrija and Shran? Okay, I will ask you this question last. Any questions from the audience, guys, for them? Seems like they don't have any question now. Great. So, thank you for joining in, guys, and thank you, Adrija and Shran.
Thank you, Dada. Thank
Yeah, and
Thank
any
you.
parting
Welcome.
statement, anything you want to say to the uh, students out there before you want to, any parting statement to the students about their preparation and stuff? Audrey and Shan. The answers should not be the same now, okay? They should be different. So, yeah, please go
all
ahead.
the best to all my juniors. Prepare well from the very beginning. I think you all can crack jam examination if you are dedicated enough, and even if the exam day does not go well for you, don't like do it does not harm, it will not harm you in long run. So there will be many other exams and you can crack it, and like one exam cannot decide your future now. So don't get deserted, and all the best. I think uh, all your exam goes well, I hope, and thank you.
Yep, thank you so much for this statement.
The main
And
thing is
Shan,
love for the subject. The main
good.
thing is love
Glad
for
you
the
told that.
subject. Yes,
Great,
you
so
should
good.
love the subject. So I would like to say that all the best, everyone, for your exam, whatever exam you are giving, and just do your karma, and you will get your results very soon.
Okay. Is the line for
Just do
moving
hard
forward?
work.
Okay, I'm just
Yes.
joking. Okay. No, it's important. So I just want to say one thing on which Adrija told, and mm, while it's good to stay motivated, guys, it's also important to know the truth. Okay. Ajay told, like, all of you will get. I hope all of you get into, IIT. Number one, like the many students, all of you will not get into IIT. Okay. So actually, what she
Yes,
meant is that if
actually,
you
this
give,
is not possible.
but what she meant is that if you give, all of you will also not be so focused like them and others, right? So if you are focused, if you do this analysis habit, so as I told, data analysis habit and the examining scenario, these are some things that people don't do. Okay, other things all people do, problem solving and stuff, but these are things people don't do. I have observed, so that's why I'm telling you. So if you do these things, guys, I think it'll increase your chance. What Adja means is it'll increase your chance of
Hmm.
getting into IIT, but you will not get into IIT. So all of you will not get into IIT. Remember that. So be also practical. Okay, it's good to stay motivated, but also practical.
It's a kind of
Uh,
conditional probability.
hmm, nice.
Whatever things you are doing, conditional thing, your probability is increasing.
I'm sure. I am totally now sure that Australian loves probability. Okay, like me and others. So, yeah. Thank you for mentioning this. Great. So Shivani is asking, what other exams did you give except JAM? I think ISI only,
Hmm.
because JAM exams, you know, it's there. Like uh, I think the exams open, like JAM results come out very early, so I think they have a
Hmm.
decision to make. Okay. Thank you guys
as
for. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
as we have cracked gem, so we don't have to give much exams, but others give like Delhi University exams, CMI. In
Hmm.
St. Xavier's also data science course has opened from this year,
Masters,
and
right?
CE exams they will
Yes.
give many exams.
Yeah. So I have this link where all the exam resources, not the exam resources, but the exam list. I think it can be important for the prepare, aspirants. I will just show you the link. So it's a bit of this all this entrance ISI, IIT, CMI Science, Delhi University, then University of Hyderabad, DHU, and Presidency Calcutta University, Pune. This CU CET is there, ISI QSMS, and MSQMS it will be, PGTSMA, and all these things are there. So you can check IIPS is also good. You can check this exam. So this is in our website, so maybe it's
Yeah,
easy to
IIT
load.
is good.
So any other universities would add? I think it was pretty
I think.
okay. Okay, thank you guys, and uh, yeah. So you have an invitation after this, so go to that invitation, enjoy that. So all the best, and yes, have a great day ahead, and thank you for joining, and thank you for sharing your knowledge. All the best for your future too.
Hmm.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Ta-da.
Yeah, and also for this people out there who are watching, thanks for joining in, and yeah, if you like their thoughts, please do share, subscribe, and to your juniors and friends, and yeah, thank you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Stay tuned and stay blessed. Bye.